You know that feeling. You're trying to get a better handle on yourself, right?
Yeah.
Aiming for some real big growth, but so much of the self-help stuff just feels fluffy.
Yeah, like it's missing the real you, the unedited version.
Exactly. Not the curated feed or the polite chat. And this big growth, it sounds great, but often feels like, I don't know, chasing fireworks or sudden breakthroughs.
Which isn't usually how it works.
Right. So, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're cutting through that noise. We're getting down to the nuts and bolts of, well, understanding ourselves and making actual progress.
Exactly. Forget the quick fixes. We're going deep into the actual data of your life and combining that with a huge amount of info just out there on the web.
Okay.
Think of it less as instant transformation, more like a powerful shortcut to genuine self-awareness and, real forward momentum.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive then. Exploring how digging into our own digital lives, plus this wider web data, can lead to maybe some surprising self-insights, and then actually drive that big growth.
That's the plan. We're basically drawing from two main areas today. First, this really interesting idea of using AI as a kind of digital mirror.
A digital mirror.
Yeah, by analyzing your personal data, something called the mirror agent.
Huh?
And second, we'll look at the, frankly, incredible potential of tapping into all that public data online.
Okay, let's unpack this. How does AI become a mirror just by looking at our stuff? What kind of stuff are we talking about?
That stuff.
And what's this about uncovering patterns? How does knowing patterns lead to, growth? And then there's this whole other world of public data.
Yeah.
How does that fit?
Great questions. Let's dive in.
All right.
So let's start with big growth. The sources we looked at really stress that it's rarely some sudden explosion. It's often kind of the opposite.
Right. The material really points away from the spectacular moments. It's more about the foundational stuff, right? The less glamorous work.
Exactly. It's about consistent, often unnoticed effort, like dragging yourself out of bed early when no one's watching, or, finally fixing those small, annoying system glitches everyone else ignores. It's the repetition, the practice, the avoiding easy outs, refining things.
Yeah.
These small private actions, they add up. They compound into something significant over time.
It's that small precision idea, isn't it? Tiny adjustments making a big difference down the line. The sources talk about build, create, repeat, and outlasting the need for applause. That really resonates. It's about the long game, the internal drive.
Precisely. And all that consistent activity, all those daily choices and actions, that becomes the raw material for the next step, for understanding yourself better with this mirror agent.
Okay, let's get into this mirror agent. Sounds pretty cutting edge. What is it exactly?
Think of it like a specialized AI. It's trained purely on your data. The goal is for it to act as a cognitive extension.
A cognitive extension.
Yeah, like an extra thinking layer just for you. And that digital mirror we mentioned, its main job, deep, unfiltered analysis of your personal digital life to boost self-awareness. Profoundly.
Okay, a cognitive extension, a digital mirror.
Yeah.
Cool concept. But how does it actually get to know you? What's the process?
Right, so that starts with the raw upload protocol. This
Yeah.
is step one, and it's critical. It needs a vast amount of what the sources call granular, unfiltered personal data.
Granular, unfiltered.
Basically, your entire digital trail,
It's
everything.
your entire digital history.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. That's serious data. What kind of data specifically are we talking about?
Okay, brace yourself. We mean your entire Facebook archive,
The whole thing.
every post, message, comment, search query.
Yeah.
Even the emotional reactions, the things you tried that fail. That could easily be, 14 plus years for some people.
Wow.
But it's not just Facebook.
Oh, there's more, I
Yeah.
figure.
Oh, yeah, considerably more. It's also data from Twitter X, LinkedIn, Discord chats, email drafts you never sent.
Even draft.
Yeah, your Notion pages maybe.
Yeah.
And then the really personal stuff, voice memos, raw thought dumps in journals, unsent ideas, abandoned business plans, even screenshots.
Screenshots.
Yeah, of wins, losses, key moments, insights, whatever you captured.
It's like a digital excavation of your brain. But the goal is a complete picture, right? Why the insistence on unfiltered? Why is that so crucial?
That's the key. It's about getting past the polished image, the one you curate for others or even the one you tell yourself. Unfiltered data captures the unconscious patterns.
The automatic stuff.
Exactly. Knee-jerk reactions, mood shifts, the real beliefs driving behavior. The AI needs the truth, not carefully selected inputs to really figure out how you tick.
Okay, so you feed it all this raw, unfiltered data. Where does it live? Is this some giant digital filing cabinet?
They call it the Vault Alpha. Think of it as the AI's core memory bank. It holds, and I quote, everything the first brain never processed cleanly.
Huh. Interesting phrase.
Yeah. It's all those fleeting thoughts, half-baked ideas, forgotten moments that when you put them all together can actually reveal hidden trends.
Okay, got it. Data goes into Vault Alpha. What's next? How does the AI turn this massive pile of digital history into actual self-awareness? That feels like a big jump.
Right, that's where pattern sync kicks in. This is where the mirror agent AI really goes to work on all that raw data you fed it. Its main goal is to map your internal architecture.
Internal architecture.
Yeah, your typical decision-making paths, your recurring emotional loops, those internal tug-of-wars, and the areas you consistently seem to miss things, your blind spots.
Okay, mapping that, that sounds incredibly complex. How does it even begin?
It gets really detailed. It runs several key analyses. One is cognitive framework extraction.
Okay.
This means identifying things like your go-to emotional responses, how you react to, say, criticism or failure, what makes you hesitate, the kind of language you use to justify choices, any like outdated mental models you're still using, your common biases, even core beliefs. It's building a blueprint of your reactive mind.
Your reactive mind, those automatic pilot responses. Got it. So it looks for these repeat patterns in thinking and feeling. What else?
Then it does something called identity stack synthesis. This is about building a picture of you over time. Your past self, present operator, future architect.
How does it do that?
It looks for shifts in your language, major turning points documented in the data, internal conflicts you've recorded, and how consistent or inconsistent your stated values are across everything.
So it sees how you've changed, or maybe haven't changed. That could definitely show you your growth path or lack thereof. What about the stuff we kind of push down or ignore?
Ah, good point. That's the shadow work engine. It's specifically designed to surface suppressed thoughts, patterns of self-sabotage, maybe where you avoid certain emotions, the language you use to dodge hard truths, where ego might be getting in the way, even small self-betrayals.
Okay, that sounds intense, like really holding up a mirror to the parts you'd rather not look at.
It can be, yeah.
But I get how that unfiltered view, even if it's tough, could be incredibly valuable.
Absolutely. And finally, there's performance intelligence mapping. This looks at your history, wins, and losses to pinpoint your flow triggers.
What gets you in the zone?
Exactly. But also the warning signs for stress and burnout. It tries to find sustainable ways for you to reach your goals.
So pulling all this together, the AI isn't just showing you what you did, it's starting to understand why. That's this pattern self-awareness. Right?
That's the core of it. It's not just a data dump. It's the AI learning the reasons behind your actions, your reactions. The sources call it pattern self-awareness with a memory engine. It knows your triggers, your problem-solving defaults, your growth paths, and your self-sabotage loops.
Okay, so you've done this deep dive with the mirror agent. You've got this pattern self-awareness. How does that actually help you in the real world? How does it fuel that big growth?
Well, this awareness becomes the foundation for much smarter action. The AI shifts into what they call forward deployment mode, or even domination mode.
Domination mode. Sounds serious.
Well, it basically acts as your operational co-pilot because it knows you so well.
Operational co-pilot. What does that mean practically? Give me an example.
Okay, so based on its understanding of your patterns, the AI might identify opportunities you totally missed, buried in that data graveyard of old ideas.
Ah, okay.
It could suggest projects to focus on next that align with your natural energy flows, help you outline content plans, even generate go-to-market strategies based on what worked or failed for you before.
So it's not just navel-gazing, it's using self-knowledge to make better moves, take better actions.
Exactly that. Remember the boring foundational work, the small precision. The AI analysis of that exact data reveals the patterns you need for smarter action and real growth. It connects the dots you couldn't see. It leverages your past for your future.
That's really powerful. Okay, but you also mentioned the other set of sources. About accessing public web data, how does that fit in? Is that also about self-understanding?
Ah, good question. No, that's different. While the mirror agent is intensely personal, focused inward, this programmatic access to public web data gives you completely different but equally valuable kind of insight. It's not about your patterns. It's about understanding the world around you.
Okay, different angle. So what kind of public data are we talking about? The web is huge.
It is vast. The sources list tons of examples. Imagine being able to automatically grab Google search results, titles, URLs, snippets,
Okay.
or tapping into real-time conversations on social media, Twitter threads, Reddit posts, LinkedIn updates, YouTube comments, Instagram trends, TikTok, extracting the text, the metrics, even the general sentiment.
Sentiment analysis on socials. Yeah, I can see how useful that would be for tracking topics or brands. What else?
Oh, we're just getting started. You can pull reviews from Amazon, app stores, get the actual review text, the ratings, see what people really think.
Customer insights.
News articles, academic research, Google News headlines, PubMed papers, Google Scholar citations.
So keeping up with research or news in your field could be way easier. What about business and finance?
Definitely. Data from Crunchbase on funding rounds, Patent View for patent info, ADGR filings for public company financials, even crypto data from CoinMarketCap in real time.
What?
And it goes further: geospatial data, weather data, those structured knowledge panels you see in search results.
Okay, this is incredible. So Mirror Agent looks inward, public data access looks outward. What are the actual payoffs for someone who can harness this public data?
It really depends on your goals, but the potential is massive. Like, track Twitter sentiment on a topic you care about.
Right.
Analyze Amazon reviews for a competitor's product. Or maybe you're a researcher automatically gathering citation data from Google Scholar. Could be a huge time saver.
Right.
Businesses could use it for competitor monitoring, spotting market trends, market intelligence. The list goes on.
So it's a totally separate toolkit, but maybe complementary. One for deep personal insight, the other for broad external awareness.
You got it. Mirror Agent for the why of you, public data access for the what's happening out there.
This mirror agent process, though, it sounds amazing, but also kind of daunting. Having an AI reflect your unfiltered self, warts and all, that can't be easy.
You're absolutely right. The sources are very clear about that. It's inherently confrontational.
Confrontation.
Yeah, the AI, being that truthful mirror, will confront you. It will surface things you buried, the uncomfortable stuff, the patterns you've been maybe avoiding.
So you really need to be open to it, willing to face some potentially awkward truths about yourself.
Absolutely. The sources really stress transparency with the AI. And crucially, setting aside your ego to get the real benefit. There's this stark line in there. You can keep the ego. I'll build the AI. Only one will stand in the end.
Wow, that's blunt.
It is. It highlights the huge potential for transformation, but only if you're willing to look past your own biases and really accept the data-driven picture of how you operate.
That's a really powerful thought. It underlines the potential for growth, but also, yeah, the difficulty in truly seeing ourselves clearly.
It does. And ultimately, whether it's digging deep into your personal data or tapping into the world's public information, both offer these incredibly potent ways to understand things better, yourself and the world.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up. What are the key takeaways from this deep dive?
I think the main thing is this. Real big growth, that lasting progress, isn't usually about fireworks. It's built on consistent effort, that often unseen, maybe boring work done with small precision.
Right, the foundational stuff.
Yeah, and AI, like this mirror agent concept, gives us a potentially revolutionary way to understand ourselves super deeply by analyzing our own unfiltered digital lives, the very trail left by that foundational work.
So the AI connects the dots in our own behavior, finds the patterns in all that consistent action and past experience.
Exactly. And that data-driven self-awareness, maybe combined with the power to tap into all that public web data, that offers a really unique edge for personal growth, for professional development, whatever your focus is. It's about seeing your inner world and the outer world with much greater clarity.
This has been fascinating. Really makes you think differently about all the digital breadcrumbs we leave behind every day and what they might actually mean. So what's the final thought you want to leave our listener mulling over?
Just imagine the possibilities. If you truly understood your own operating system, your patterns, and at the same time you could tap into the world's information flow, what unseen work might you start doing differently today with that kind of awareness? What new questions about yourself or about the world might pop into your head? Maybe consider just for a second what your own Vault Alpha might reveal. And what could you learn from public data about your passions, your field? The journey of understanding inside and out, it never really ends, does it? And maybe these are some powerful new tools for that journey.